Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I install this corrugated metal sheet as a cladding for the studio workshop or the studio office. I'm going to use this corrugated metal sheet for the studio workshop walls or the outer skin, and I'm going to show you how I install this thing, and also I'm going to show you what I did to minimize the heat, because as you can see, this is metal, so it really conducts heat easily and fast. And also if you've seen the last video that I did, I did a structural, which is also in metal, so it's really conductive as construction. So mostly the structural and also the skin are metal, so it's very prone to heat. So I'm going to show you how I manage to minimize the heat going inside and then letting it cool during the time. Let's get into the video. You're watching DIY Architect. Hi, my name is Safran. I'm a designer, architect, and I also love building DIY projects. If you're new here in my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And then also, if you want to see more of my future videos, please click the bell icon to get notified when I upload a new one. And now let's do a recap. If you haven't seen my previous video, I did the part 1 of this studio workshop build with this whole structural with steel framing except for the roofing. And because I was not able to complete this one during the time, there's a fiesta coming and we need to move the whole structure elsewhere because it's still untidy. It's not yet complete. It's not really that good to look at. This is gonna be the temporary location for this whole build. Going to use this stones and concrete hollow blocks as a temporary footing, and then I'm going to replace it with a concrete blocks later on. In this matter, I'm going to install this tarp as a moisture barrier for the lower ground, and also to prevent the grass from growing below the whole structure. Then after I install this tarp, I install this footing, which is made from concrete. And now the structure is leveled. I'm going to add some structural members for the whole structure. And because I'm going to kinda adjust the design of the roof, I'm going to make it a little bit steeper. And now I'm going to install this diagonal bracing. I'm just going to use a metal strap. This diagonal bracing is really important for this kind of construction because we are doing a post and lintel beam construction. So if you don't have any diagonal bracing, it will shift to either way. So I'm going to do a double diagonal bracing or cross bracing for this instance. So I'm going to add this additional structure for this side because I'm going to put or to install a cabinet or a computer desk in here. I'm going to install this light metal frame perpendicular to the corrugation of the metal sheet. And now it's time to install this insulation foam strips. To be specific, the main purpose of these insulation strips are thermal barrier. Thermal bridging means that if you have two materials connected to each other with the same or a high conductivity of heat, it will just transfer the heat from the outside going into the inside fast and easy. That's why I'm going to use this PE foam insulation as a thermal break or a thermal barrier to prevent the heat from the corrugated metal sheet going into the inside. And in this particular manner, the corrugated metal sheet is not anymore touching the horizontal naggings or the horizontal support where the corrugated metal sheet will be screwed. So in this case, the connection between the corrugated metal sheet and the horizontal naggings will just be on the screws. So the diameter of the screw will be the only way that the heat from the outside can get in, compared to the whole corrugated metal sheet, whatever the size of this, whatever the area touch these horizontal naggings, it will go inside compared to the screws. So this would really helps to prevent the outside heat going in. So this is one of the reasons that I'm going to install this insulation strips or thermal break strips for in this case. Thankfully, because this one is a one-man construction, I'm very thankful that I have some clamps around. To secure this corrugated metal sheet, I'm just going to use tech screw with a rubber seal. And now let's talk about other good thing about this kind of construction. I'm installing this corrugated metal sheet in a rain screen method. I actually seen this type of construction in other place in Australia and other countries where it's cold and sometimes it's hot. Rain screen method is mostly the outer cladding is separate from the main structure, so there's a gap between the cladding or the outer surface going into the inside. This will create like a chimney effect. So whatever the heat accumulate inside this space between the main structure and the main cladding, because this one is a corrugated metal sheet, there's an opening on the other side or on the top and on the bottom, so the air we're going to went under and then it will just go up. So this kind of construction is really helps. This whole DIY building that I'm doing is for me to experiment on using a metal cladding. That's why I'm doing this one, also to experiment on is it really gonna work if I'm going to install with this kind of insulation foam and then with this cladding or the corrugated metal sheet. So the gutter is already installed and most of the walls are already done, and the only reason that I could not install the floors yet because of the water from the roof just drip into the inside of the workshop, and also for on that side the walls are just prefabricated, the same as this one also the side. So here's the prefabricated wall panels, light metal frame with corrugated GI cladding, and also still I have to rectify this one. The only problem that I've seen when I install this wall is that the sound is not is different. So this is more likely a hollow sound because I forgot to put this insulation foam to minimize the sound between the light metal frame and also the cladding. So for now, because this one the gutter is already installed, I can put the floors now, and before I'm going to install the floors. So before I'm going to install this floor panel, which is a 3/4 marine plywood, I'm going to install that plastic sheet just to be secure that there will be no what you call this moisture going inside my panel, and it will make the panel the glue of the panel become loose, so some of the other parts will just protrudes, or there will be a bump. So that fixed the problem, and also for the panels, because I live somewhere in there's a lot of trees, so there's a lot of termites, which is the anay, and a lot more. And I also put some medicine to the floor panel to make it more kinda termite resistant. So the next part will be I'm going to install the sheet, the plastic, and then I'm also going to install this one. So I will try to fit this one. So this one is already measured to fit directly into the floor. In the corners there's a lot of cuts to fit, because it will go around at the bottom here. So I'm going to fit these panels now. When I was planning this whole construction, I was planning to make the whole structure, or the whole assembly, as a modular, because I want it to be easy to disassemble and then assemble on the other place also. But then I was thinking, and during when I was completing the design, if I'm going to make it as a modular, so I'm going to create every module, and for the framing for each module there will be a vertical or a support. So if I'm going to combine this, every panels on each other, there will be two supports on each side. So I think it's out of my budget to double the framing for each panel. That's why I just use a typical construction. Only in this only in these walls that I'm going to install a modular method. Now it's time to install or fix these floor panels. As you can see that I already installed the moisture barrier. You can see it on the lower portion. There's a blue plastic. so it's time to cap the holes for the gable wall. In this case, I'm just going to use a fiber cement board because this one is on the outside portion of the structure, so this type of construction should be a weather resistant or weatherproof, so that's why I'm going to use a fiber cement board for this one. And now I'm going to install this insulation foam, the same material as the thermal bridging that I'm using for these walls. So on this side of the wall, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch plywood in this part because I'm going to install a wall or a hanging cabinet or a hanging desk in this area. So I'm going to attach it into the wall, so I'm going to use a plywood in this part. Most of the Philippine construction that uses this kind of insulation, there's two-sided with aluminum foil and there's also one-sided. So in this case, I'm just going to use one-sided, and then I'm going to face the facing the foil outside. This aluminum foil portion of the insulation foam will serve as a reflector, so whatever the heat or the radiation of heat goes into the corrugated metal sheet and into the building will be just reflected going back to the outside by this aluminum foil. And this side of the wall is I'm going to use a different material. I'm going to use a fiber cement board on this area because there's no heavy load will be attached to this wall. And also because I live in the forest, this aluminum foil, because it's a monolithic or it's a whole sheet of cover, this will also act as a moisture barrier. This will prevent the moisture from the outside going into the inside walls. Now it's time to install the ceiling frame. The same as the construction of the horizontal laggings for the walls, I'm going to install this light metal frame as the framing for the ceiling. Compared to wood construction, this would be very handy and easy to install because you just use a snipping tool to cut this light metal frame and then drill the holes and then use rivet for the installation. If you're going to try to install this one, the first process is that you need to buy wall angle for the corners of the walls, and then double faring or single faring as the framing. Then if you're going to suspend it in the ceiling, you need to put some carrying channel to carry all the loads going up to your trusses or whatever the mounting surface on the upper portion of the ceiling. For the ceiling, I'm going to use the same insulation foam because I want to experiment if the heat from the roof will be reflected by the insulation foam or this particular insulation foam will be enough. And now when I feel that one insulation foam is not enough, I double the insulation foam of the ceiling because during when I construct this whole structure, when I'm in the inside, it's a little bit hot because during the summer it's really hot in our area because we are in the mountains, we're closer to the sun as they say. And now that I've doubled the insulation, by the way, the size or the thickness of the insulation foam is just 10mm with a aluminum foil on a one side, so all the aluminum foil will be facing up to reflect the heat and then the radiation of the sun out of the whole structure. And then based on my experience and based on what I feel when I'm inside the whole structure, it's not anymore hot as long as there's a proper cross ventilation of the whole structure, then you will be good. In our case, I designed this whole structure to be oriented and placed as I wanted. And now it's time to cut the ceiling material. In this case, I'm using a different material again. For the ceiling, I'm going to use a gypsum board. This particular material is a little bit more advanced than a fiber cement board when it comes to interior ceiling material, because gypsum board is a little bit more acoustically efficient, and also it's a little bit softer than a fiber cement board, so it will kinda lessen the reverberation or the echo in the inside of the whole structure. This DIY studio build really took me a long time. I think a year or more, because I'm just doing this one during my free time and during the weekend, so it really took me a long time. And now for the exterior part of the structure, I'm going to use a different material for the ceiling or for the eaves part. I'm using here a fiber cement board because this one is a weatherproof and at least water resistant or moisture resistant, because this one is outdoor or on the exterior part, the moisture content and then the weather is more harsh, so you need something, a sturdy material on the exterior part. And now that all the ceiling material for the exterior part are already installed, I'm going to install this fiber cement board Sanepa, which is from Hardiflex. It's not sponsored, but I just trust this kind of material for this application. I'm just using a hardy screw for this one. It's a galvanized screw, so it's a little bit more weather resistant and a little bit rust proof. So I'm going to wrap all the eaves or all the fascia with this fiber cement board. And now if you're going to install or to put some eaves in your structure, you need to put some vent or outlet for the air, so that there will be no heat accumulate in the inside of the ceiling, and then this will cause a crack on the joints of your ceiling material. That's why you can see a lot of cracks when you're going into some buildings. There will be cracks because the heat from the sun is kinda expanding the metal framing, and it will create movement. That's why you can see the cracks. Now the whole structure is 90% finished, and now it's time to paint the interior walls to make it a little bit neat and tidy. Of course, if you are going to paint your interior walls, you need to use the proper paint for different materials. Latex paint for concrete material, and enamel or acrylic for the wood material. Sorry for the mess, because I'm painting the interior portion of the structure. All of the things that I have in here, I just put it into one place. So I think this is pretty much it, and I'm going to do a separate video for the doors for this studio workshop build. And if you reach this part of the video, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And also there will be a separate video for the awning part of the whole structure, and also for the studio workshop walls and then the floor. So I think there's a lot more to be installed and fixed into this structure, so that will be on another video. So I think that is it for this whole DIY build for my studio workshop. Thank you so much for watching, and you're watching DIY Architect.